everyone, this is Robyn. Welcome to mypinkstamper.com. I have the most adorable card for you today featuring the Flowering Tulips bundle. And I'm also going to be making a fun background with our Natural Textures stamp set. And so I think we'll just go ahead and jump right in and get started. If you're new to my channel, I'm so happy that you're here with me today. I'd love to hear from you, so leave a comment below. And also, if you'd like to purchase any of these products and you're in the United States, they're all available in my shop at shopmypinkstamper.com. And I have a list of everything below in the description or on the screen or on my blog, however you're watching this. And if you don't have the materials and you'd like to make a similar card, use what you have and maybe use the colors or the card layout or a similar stamp set and create along with me. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll start with our stamping first. Now, we'll make the background stamp, our background first. We're going to be using this fun textured brick stamp from the Natural Textures stamp set. And I'm just going to grab my small grid paper. It's my staple. I always have it in my little cart next to my crafting area. And so I can use it if I want to, you know, stamp off anything or make any backgrounds. I'm using the basic gray ink pad. And then I'm going to be using, I have everything over here cut and ready to go. If you have a paper cutter, you can trim them to the following sizes, or this one to the following size. This is 3, I grabbed the wrong color. I'm like, wait a minute. I need to grab Smoky Slate. So we're grabbing Smoky Slate first. And the great thing about these little grid papers is you can measure. So this one is 3.5 by, wait, am I doing this right? Let me do this right. No, it's 3.25 by 4.5. I was like, she's giving me all the wrong sizes today. I'm not trying to. All right, so we're going to ink up this stamp, and I'm going to start with the bottom. And you can also use the Stamparatus if you have the Stamparatus, if you want to line these up perfectly. But I'm okay if they overlap a little bit because it looks like they're all one. It's a great stamp for that. It doesn't have to be perfect. So I can, and look, it kind of all looks like it. Wow, I'm lining this up pretty good, and it's kind of, if you look at the stamp, how it's made so you can kind of put one right next to each other, next to it. Okay, there is my fun background, and I'll set that aside, and that's all I need the gray for. Now, I don't need my mini pad. I don't think I need it for a bit, maybe in a little bit. Now I'm going to stamp on this piece of basic white. This is actually thick. I'm using these stitched rectangles, and what I found is it's hard for them to, you know, get a good cut out of the thin if you're using the regular basic white. I like to use the thick. That's just my little tip. It works great with all of the other colors, but for some reason white, I need the thick on there. So I'm going to stamp first, and I'm going to make a Mother's Day card. So if you don't want to make a Mother's Day card and you want to make this with me, just grab a sentiment that will fit in a rectangle. So I'm using Happy Mother's Day, and I'm using Polished Pink, which is my absolute favorite pink that we have right now. I'm sorry, Melon Mambo. Polished Pink is going to be here for another year. It's one of our in colors. So that's okay to have other favorites, right? I love them all similar. I wouldn't say the same. Okay, I'm just using this scrap, so I'm trying to utilize it the best. So Happy Mother's Day. And that's all I'm using this pink for. Set that aside for a second, and then I'm going to be cutting it out when I pull out my die cut machine. And then now I'm going to be using, this is just a scrap piece of our soft succulent cardstock. And I'm using that with the soft succulent ink pad. Now I'm using the large leaf and then the thick stem. So this large leaf and the thick stem. And what I've done is I've just put them on the same block. It just makes stamping a little bit easier. And I'm going to stamp them 3 times because we're using them 3 times on the card. And if you want to just do one at a time, you might be able to utilize your cardstock better, however you want to do it. That's all the stamping on this for this card. there's a lot of really other fun things. So let's pull out our die cut machine. I'm using the Stampin' Cut and Emboss. And let me fix my video so you can get a better view. Isn't it fun to be able to see what I'm actually doing instead of it being off screen? I do that sometimes on accident. All right, I'm gonna put this in here and then I'm going to cut these 3 times. So I'll speed up the second one and I'll just show you the first one. Just a little editing skills. Makes the video not as long for you guys. Sometimes they're long. That's okay. All right. I'm just going to line this up. And then what I do, you can put washi tape on there if you want to make sure it stays. I just hold it down flat and then pull it through. I'm not very good with the washi tape. Maybe I push it too hard, but I don't really need to use it. I don't have any problem with it moving. So there's one, and I'll do it 2 more times. Okay, I'm done with all of the leaves. And now let me just set those aside for a second. We're building on this card. I have a couple pieces of scrap. We'll see if I can just use one of them instead of using both. And we're going to be cutting out the tulips. Now there are 3 different foldy tulips. They're kind of 3-dimensional. And when you're looking at your set, you're thinking, oh my goodness, I don't know what those are for. They're so different. How do I do this? So I'm going to show you how now. So it's going to be great. We're going to put all of these on here. And actually, I think I'm going to be able to fit them on here. And then there's just 2 inserts so that are going to actually go in a couple of them. There's this one here. And then there's this one. And they've given you 3 of these in the collection. So if you want to cut a bunch of those and just use them by themselves, you can as well. And that's all. So I'll go ahead and cut this, cut these, cut this, cut these. All right. And I'm going to set that aside. Okay, let me take these out. And I have one more cut. So and I'll show you how to put them all together. It'll be easy. It's actually super easy. It's kind of similar to another stamp set we had before that I used quite a bit and made some, so that it looks like this. But I like that it has the embossed flower. If you can, I'm not sure. Let me see if I can get it to, sometimes I can. There we go. To zoom in a little bit. All right, now I am going to cut the Mother's Day sentiment. And anytime you're using like a shape that has blunt edges, it's really good that you put it in at an angle. Just cuts a lot smoother, so the pressure's not all coming on a flat side at one time. I know that made sense. I know you get it, right? Yes, that made sense, Robyn. Okay, so I'm going to put this in here, on here, and then just run it through. That's the stitched rectangles. And now set my machine aside, fix my position so you can get a better view. I might even zoom in a little bit for you. There you go. All this fun technology I get to do. Okay, so I'm going to take that out, and then I usually just poke my finger, and sometimes I'll take a bone folder to make sure it comes out nice and smooth. There we go. Happy Mother's Day. And that doesn't go with that. I need to make sure I set that aside. Okay, now we'll go ahead and let's put our flowers together. I'll show you how to do this. And we're going to be adding everything on this piece of vellum. And this vellum is cut at 2.5 by 3, 2.5 by 3 3/4. Let me double check. Let me just grab my little thing here. Yep, 2.5 by 3 3/4. Nice little rectangle. And we're going to fold these so they're in like this. And this one's going like this. Okay, so this is the smallest one, and it's not going to have anything inside. And I tried a few different ways to do this, and I've used dimensionals. I found I like using just a glue dot the best because it just really holds it. So I put it on the big piece over here at the bottom, and then when I squish it over and hold it down, it's actually going to hold the other flap and kind of give it this 3-dimensional look. You could even fold it back on the top if you wanted to. You can sponge it. There's all sorts of things you can do. So I just kind of used my nail and pulled it back a little bit to give it a little bit of texture. And now the next one I'm going to do is this one right here and fold it in like this. And I think I did this right. Did I do this right? I might have, I might not have. No, I did it right. I'm sorry. You're like, you did it right the first time, I think. No, I didn't. I did it wrong. Okay, so it goes this way like this. And then we're going to slip, in this one, we're slipping in the small piece. Okay, so it's this one right here. And this will go in like that. You can mix and match and do them different ways. So I'm just going to add some adhesive to the back of this piece right here. If you guys can see this okay. Try to zoom in for you. And I like to make sure that it's closed, and then I'll push this in here. And then now I'm going to take another glue dot and just make sure that I'm just going to put it on this piece just to make sure that it's on there. You don't want it to show through, so make sure it's not showing through. And then I'm not putting anything over here because I want it to look like, you know, I'm going to use my nail and pull it toward me a little bit in the center just to kind of give my tulips a little bit more texture. That's it. Super easy. And it's kind of like, whew, I figured this out. It's easier to put together. These ones are going to go inward like this. I'm going to go towards you. And then we are going to put this piece, the one that has, it looks like a V shape. I'm just going to add a little bit of adhesive to the bottom of this one. And then I like to close it just to make sure that when I'm putting it in, I have it where I want it. Okay, squish that in there. And then I'm going to also pull the center toward me, or the edges toward me. You can use a bone folder or distress or whatever you want. And then I'm also just going to grab a glue dot. That was fairly easy, wasn't it? A glue dot, and I'm going to put it kind of on the edge of this, or in the, right here. And then I'll just squish it in there. There we go. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to situate my flowers. I want them up here, here, and here. This one's going to be over here. And then I'm going to take my 3 stems. One of them I'll want just up here toward the center, or in the center. And I'm going to grab my liquid glue. This video might take a little longer, but it's worth it because this card is so adorable. I love using pink and gray. I don't know if you all are like me, but I love it. Okay, I don't know if you can see that very well. Squeezing it on and then pulling it. This is the multi-purpose glue. And I'm going to put this pretty about right here because I can cover the top if it's too high. So I want this one up here, hold it down, and then I'm going to grab another one of the thick stems. Hopefully it's a good, maybe I'll just zoom out and do it normal. There we go. Then you're not accidentally off the screen. You guys having a good week? We do have tulips in our backyard. My husband surprised me last year and had planted them in the spring, and I didn't know it. And they all came up probably around, I mean, it's too cold now. They'll be coming out soon. It's a little too chilly now here in Utah, but last year he surprised me. I don't know if you guys follow my Instagram, Robyn Stamps, ROBYN Stamps, but I posted every day about them. And then like after the tulips, daffodils showed up. Or maybe vice versa, but I was so surprised and so happy. I've always wanted tulips, always. We've been married for almost 26 years. It was the first time we planted flowers of any kind. All right, so this one's going to go like that. Okay, and now I'm going to add the flowers on with a dimensional each. So I'm going to use my glue in a second. I'm going to grab our regular Stampin' dimensionals. Here they are. And I'm just going to put one on the back of each of these flower tops or buds. But there's probably I'm probably saying all the incorrect things. So all of you flower growers, if that's your hobby, let us know in the comments if I'm saying the right term. I know I'm messing it all up. I always do with like these flowers and things. I think I might have done this one backwards, but that's okay. It still is cute. Okay, I did that one backwards and you will see the texture on the outside, and I didn't see the texture on that one. Okay, this one's going to go right here. And then now we're going to take our leaves, and for this one, I'm just going to use the liquid glue as well. I could use, actually I'm going to use the regular adhesive. Okay, and I'll just pull a strip on here. This one's going to go up here and kind of like this. Just kind of, if you know how tulips grow, look, usually the leaves kind of are right up like this. They're not hanging down too much. And I could be wrong. I'm wrong a lot with these types of things. All right, and I'm going to put this one right here. It's so pretty. Isn't it so cute? I love it. I love it so much. And then this one is going to go right here. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put our card together. We have our main element, and you'll just see my card grow like a flower. It's going to be so fun. So I'm going to take this piece here that we stamped on, the background. I'm going to throw on some of our adhesive, and I'm grabbing this putting this onto a piece of basic gray cardstock. This one's cut at 3.5 by 4 3/4. I believe that's correct. And then I'm going to put this on here. And now let's go ahead and fold our card base in half. This is our thick, basic white cardstock. I have it cut at 5.5 by 8.5 inches. And you can also score it at 4 1/4. If you have our paper trimmer has a scorer, but maybe you have a different way you like to score your cardstock. We actually have a simply scoring tool as well. All right, now before I add my other layer on, I have just a strip of our Positively Pink, sorry, that was like from 20 years ago, our polished pink, and I'm not even going to edit it out. This is polished pink cardstock, and it's the same one that I used for the tulips, and it's cut at 1 inch by 4 1/4, and this is just going to go behind here from side to side in the center, as close to the center as you can get. It'll be good enough. And then I'm going to put this background on here. I like lots of adhesive. Put this on here. And now we have a nice thick border with this accent on the side, which I love. And we're going to turn this piece over, and I'm going to pop this up. And what I love about having the vellum as that this is on is that it's going to just make it look, it'll be kind of see-through. And it's just the way it sits is it's just elegant. Okay. And I'll pull off the backings. This is probably going to be one of my favorite cards that I've made in a long time. I don't know if I'm going to make a lot of these. It's a little more time consuming than my quick cards. Okay, I have that, and now I'm going to put this on here. But because this is kind of lifted up from having 3 pieces of cardstock, I'm going to put a dimensional on both of these sides. I'm going to put a little adhesive in the center, and then I'm going to put a dimensional on each side here. And that way, it will still stick up and be even. It'll be flush. And that's going to go across right here. I have a little bit of the bottom showing. Okay, and there is our card for today. And here's the one that I designed last night. I fell in love with it. I'm so excited. And I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please leave me a comment below. Let me know what you thought. Give it a thumbs up if you like it. I love it. We need a love button for YouTube. If you're not a subscriber yet, subscribe. Go visit me on my blog, mypinkstamper.com. I have lots of fun stuff over there as well. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I will see you soon. Bye-bye.